Hi guys, this is Vidya and I hope you're doing well. Today I'm talking about a few things that I like to try and incorporate in my son's play space in his environment. If you're curious to know how I set up our limited space to help him get the most out of his play without being overstimulated, do check out my other video on this topic that has a lot of details about how I set it up actually. But today I'm adding a few things to it. Some things that are nice to have, and none of these things need you to go out and buy something. You already have all of this in your home and you just need to rearrange a few things. The first thing I'd like to incorporate every time is some form of art, some form of beauty in their surroundings. Now chances are you already have a lot of decorative things in your home, at least a few things that you've collected along the way or when you've traveled, but I would suggest adding a few things explicitly for the child. There are a lot of benefits to having one or two pieces of well-chosen fine art in a child's environment, and a lot of people have said this before, so it doesn't have to be elaborate. In fact, when my son was little, I chose a couple of picture frames from IKEA, the ones that don't have the glass front, so they are shatterproof, and I printed out two paintings online from well-known artists, and I just printed them on an A4 size paper and I put them in the frame and I hung them in his room. So it's important to place these pieces of art at the child's height or a little bit higher. At a very young age, it's not necessary to even point out the picture to the child and talk about it or critique it. All of that is not really necessary. It's just important to have that in their background so they know that they are appreciating something beautiful. You can even hang up a few things that they have created so they get a sense of accomplishment and a sense of pride in their work. You can even have a little hanging, a string with their pictures clipped onto it at their height so they can keep seeing them, and you can replace them once in a while. Not to make it too cluttered, but to see visually some pieces of art is of immense benefit to the child. This next thing is very important to me. It is to give them a sense of control over their surroundings, over their life in a practical kind of way, because so much of their life is still out of their control, right? So if it's nice to give them some kind of responsibility for themselves. So an easy way to do this is give them clothes that they can choose. So ever since he was a toddler, he had a little closet for himself where he could access his clothes and he could choose what clothes he wants to wear. Of course, seasonally appropriate, and like sometimes I will step in if it's too cold outside, and if he's choosing short sleeves, I will ask him to layer up. And once he changes his clothes, the dirty ones go into a little laundry basket, and once the basket gets full, he gets to put it in the laundry. Another way to give them a sense of control is to have a simple system of organizing so that your child can find the toys they're looking for and put them back easily when they're done. It shouldn't be so complicated, like the organizing of toys and books and all of this stuff shouldn't be so complicated that only the parent knows where everything goes and the child gets frustrated, right? So it's okay if the things seem a little messy, as long as the child is able to find what they're looking for and able to put them away, equally importantly. And in addition to this, I like to have some empty space. So in all of these cubbies that look full, the last couple of cubbies are empty, and this is for him to again feel in control and put what he needs to. So for my son, sometimes he'll leave the space empty, sometimes there'll be a lot of random stuff in there, or other times he'll put some project that he's working on to work on the next day. So just to give you an idea of the shelf, these are some of our library books. These two are some natural things that we've collected or gotten. Some shells, some pine cones back there. Those are some smaller shells, some bark and sticks that he likes to collect and just play with. These are a set of logs that I got from Etsy. There's a store on Etsy that sells this. There are many such available, but they're very open-ended. They're very smooth and really great toys to play with. There are some rocks that he likes to collect underneath, and then this is where it's usually empty, but there's a pretend campfire going. So on the bottom are a basket of play silks that we absolutely love and use every day. There are some cooking and kitchen sort of toys, and these are some of his vehicles, some smaller ones. The larger ones are stored away in a bench, and this last one is empty. And this is a shelf in his room, so in his bedroom. So these toys are not very stimulating, not very flashy, and not noisy, because this is where he comes to wind down. and you have seen a glimpse of our open-ended shelf that I'll link down below as well. The point of having some empty space to me is that once everything is put away, there's a blank canvas, there's some emptiness for us to just explore and experience some kind of boredom even, and not just rely on things around us to stimulate us constantly, right? And to add to that, I like to have a few empty baskets and bins and boxes for him, so that he can come up with new ways to use them in his play, open-ended or whatever, or transport things around. This last one is also very important to me, and this is something that the child needs to be responsible for in their environment. The simplest way to do this is to have a plant, something that's easy to maintain. So we have a couple of plants that my son is responsible for, and we have a loose schedule for it. When he was much younger, these were prompted by me, and I would say once in a while, come, let's water the plants or let's clean the leaves. As he gets older, he will get that himself, and he'll learn to observe the plant and see that it needs water, or it needs more sunlight, or it needs to be dusted. It's amazing if you have a pet in your home to have your child be in charge of something small, like making sure that the dog has enough water in his bowl, or having the fish bowl cleaned. Depending on their age, you can give them some kind of responsibility, but it's amazing if they have a living thing to take care of in their space. You could also have a fake plant that they can keep clean, they can wash its leaves, they can place it wherever they want. Another way is to have some fresh cut flowers. If you find wildflowers somewhere around, you can bring them home. A lot of skills go into a simple activity like flower arranging. If you go for a walk, you would have to observe and see what wildflowers your child would like to pick, and collect them, trim their stems, put them in a jar, fill it until a certain height with water. All of this needs pouring practice, fine motor skills for cutting. You could place the flowers in a way that is visually appealing to the child, and have them choose a spot in their environment to place their little vase and enjoy it. All of these things seem very small, but they nourish the child in many ways. I also like to have a spray bottle and a piece of cloth for him to access easily, so that when it's time to clean his playmat or clean the top of his cabinets or his tables, he can do it himself. So once in a while we'll have a cleaning day where he gets to spray everything, clean everything. Kids love using a spray bottle. They love the effect of spraying. It's really good for them too. So if you give your child a spray bottle, they might want to clean other stuff as well, which is excellent. So my son loves cleaning the mirrors. He loves window washing. That's one of his favorite activities. And after everything is done, he sees the results of his labor, and he also gets some appreciation of what a clean space looks like and what he can do to make that happen. My son is 4 years old right now, so I would say these are relevant for children from 3 to 6 years of age. But of course, as with everything else, please use your own judgment, because you know your child the best in terms of safety and what is really appealing to your child. I hope you found some of these things useful, and please let me know in the comment section what you find essential for you in your child's environment, and I would really appreciate it. I love hearing your ideas, and I will see you in one of my next videos. Until then, take care. Bye.